So, what if I told you there's a secret world living inside of you right now? A bustling, hidden ecosystem working around the clock just for you. It might sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's actually one of the most exciting frontiers in human health today.
No, for real, just think about that for a second. What if you literally had trillions of microscopic partners, your own personal health squad, totally dedicated to your well-being? How would that change things?
Well, guess what? The fantastic news is you do have them. This incredible team living inside you is called your gut microbiome, and today we're going to get to know them a whole lot better. So, what is this thing exactly? Well, to put it simply, it's a massive community of bacteria and other microbes living mostly in your colon. But don't think of them as gross germs or anything. You should think of them as your personal health A-team. And they're absolutely essential for, well, pretty much everything, from how you digest your food to how you feel.
All right, first up, let's dive into one of the most, honestly, mind-blowing connections in our entire body, the direct line of communication between your gut and your brain. It's like a superhighway of information. And get this, it's not a one-way street at all. Your gut is constantly sending signals up to your brain, and your brain is sending signals right back down. This constant chatter is what scientists call the gut-brain axis, and it influences everything from what you're craving for dinner to your overall mood.
Okay, so here's where it gets really, really important. Our mental state, how we feel, how stressed we are, can directly impact this whole system. When we go through psychological stress, it can actually cause physical damage to the protective lining of our gut. This is what's sometimes called the leaky gut phenomenon. It lets things that should stay inside the gut pass through into our bloodstream, which then triggers our immune system and creates inflammation. And that inflammation isn't just a tummy ache. It's been directly linked to mood disorders like anxiety and depression. It's all connected.
So if these gut buddies of ours are so important, how do we actually take care of them? Well, the most powerful tool we have is what we put on our plate. It's time to talk about how to feed your microscopic friends.
All right, I want you to remember this number, 50 grams. Decades of research, going all the way back to the 1970s, points to 50 grams of fiber per day as a key target for good health and preventing diseases like colon cancer. Now, just for some perspective, the average American only eats about 15 grams a day. So, yeah, there's a pretty big gap there.
And if you're kind of skeptical thinking, how much of a difference can fiber really make? Well, there's this landmark dietary switch study that gives us an absolutely stunningly clear answer.
Okay, so let's break this down. Researchers took two groups. One was African Americans eating a typical low-fiber Western diet, and the other was rural South Africans eating their traditional super high-fiber diet. They found that the Western diet produced metabolites, which are basically the byproducts of your digestion, that can promote cancer. But the high-fiber diet? It produced beneficial ones, like butyrate, a fantastic little compound that actively protects the colon. And then they had the two groups swap diets.
And this is the truly incredible part. In just 14 days, that's only 2 weeks, their biomarkers for colon cancer risk completely flipped. The African Americans who started eating the high-fiber diet saw their risk markers plummet. Meanwhile, the rural Africans who started eating the Western diet saw their risk markers skyrocket. This shows us plain as day just how quickly and powerfully we can change our internal world for the better.
So what kind of food do these powerful little allies of ours love to eat? It's actually super simple. They thrive on fiber from whole foods. We're talking whole grains, a whole rainbow of vegetables, all kinds of fruits, and especially beans and legumes.
But wait, it's not just about what's on your plate. Remember that gut-brain superhighway we talked about? Well, it turns out that calming our minds can have just as big of an effect on our inner world as changing our diet. This brings us to mindfulness. And, what even is that? I love this simple and beautiful definition from researcher Dr. Linda Carlson. She says it's about paying attention on purpose in the present moment with an open and accepting attitude. It's really just about training our awareness.
Now, this is where things get really, really cool. Scientists got curious. They wondered if this kind of mental practice could actually change our biology. So they decided to study the gut microbiome of a group of Tibetan Buddhist monks who meditate for hours every single day.
And what they found was, wow, just wow. The monks' microbiomes were way different from their neighbors who didn't meditate. Theirs were packed with beneficial bacteria like Prevotella and Bacteroidetes, species that are known for their anti-inflammatory properties and have even been linked to better mental health. And get this, their blood tests also showed lower risk factors for things like heart disease.
It's a direct link between long-term meditation and a healthier gut.
And look, this isn't some fringe idea. This is real, hard science. Based on all this mounting evidence, major organizations like the American Society of Clinical Oncology now officially recommend therapies based on mindfulness to help cancer patients manage the intense psychological stress that comes with their illness.
And we have the hard data to prove it. Just look at these numbers from a clinical trial with cancer survivors. After just an 8-week program in mindfulness-based stress reduction, or MBSR, their average depression scores were cut nearly in half. Their anxiety scores dropped by more than 50%, and even their pain scores were significantly lower. These are real, tangible benefits that you can measure.
So you might be wondering, how can we be so sure about this? Well, it's because these findings come from the gold standard of medical research, something called a randomized controlled trial, or RCT. As you can see here, you take a group of volunteers and randomly split them. One group gets the real deal, in this case the mindfulness program, while the other group, the control group, doesn't. By comparing what happens to both groups, scientists can be sure the results are legit and not just some coincidence.
Okay, so let's put all these pieces of the puzzle together. We've got these incredible allies living inside of us. And now we know about 2 super powerful ways we can support them, through what we eat and through how we manage our minds.
Here's the big takeaway, the one thing to remember from all of this. A microbiome that is well fed with fiber, kept calm by a less stressed mind, and is rich in diversity, that becomes one of the most powerful allies you could ever have for your overall health.
So how do you assemble your own personal A-team? It really just boils down to 3 simple steps. Number 1, fuel up with fiber. Feed those trillions of friends of yours their absolute favorite foods. Number 2, find your calm. Use mindfulness or whatever works for you to manage the effects of stress. And number 3, support your team. Just remember, your daily choices are what directly shape your inner world.
Every single day, you have the power to strengthen this incredible inner ecosystem. Your inner allies are there, and they're waiting for you. The only question is, how are you going to lead them?